Hello, folks, and welcome back to another installment of a walkthrough and speed run through Chris Sawyer's Locomotion. I had a bit of a recording snafu when we did Keystone Keys the first time, so we're going to do this one again. Hopefully, we'll do a little bit better than 21 years. This was honestly not a great effort. I struggled a lot with this. I will touch on a few of the points of why this is a challenging stage. Also, I will give a lot of hints here in the very beginning for how this map is. So if you do not want this spoiled and you'd like to do it fully from scratch, please skip ahead. I'll try to put the timestamps in the description. But anyway, this is Keystone Keys. We're starting here in January 1925. We are in the North American climate, so we're in dollars. Uh, this map, as you may recognize, it's like a couple of the other ones we've done. U Island, I believe, Stepping Stones might have been like this as well. It's a lot of water. There's not a whole lot of land to build on, so be prepared to have a few cross island railroads, or if you want to get into the airport game when that is the time, definitely feel free to do that. I will note that the starting aircraft here are really crappy. Not anything against these units, but in this game, you could do a max of like 8 passengers, and that's just not very helpful whatsoever. Even going a fairly long distance at 106 miles an hour, 8 passengers just isn't worth it. Additionally, if you try to build an airport anywhere, unless you're going to go ahead and level the land, it's going to run you anywhere from like $30 to $40,000, if not more, and that's on a fairly decently flat piece of land. So just keep that in mind if you do decide to pursue air travel. A couple of notes about this. Again, this is the 1920s. We don't have the most powerful trains. We don't have the highest capacity cars. With that said, we're still looking to have lines that are going to be very profitable for us. And I do want to go through a couple of these industries here. So there are a few obvious ones. This Gravepool coal mines looks like it's pretty close to Buckwell Steel Mill. This is absolutely not what you will get if you decide to use this. Gravepool ends up, this is another case where the total produced last month at the very first month of the game is just way off. It's some totally random number. I will caution you against using this. This coal mill also, or coal mine also closed down during the last time I played. Same thing with this. Well, actually, no, this Sunning Hatton Forest I think is actually pretty decent. 330 you're not going to get, but I think you end up somewhere in like the 200s. You do have a fairly easy, well, I don't want to say it's too easy, but there is a paper mill, yep, right here. So you could deliver right across the river. This is really not a bad train line. I would recommend this as a decent place to start. It's pretty straight ahead. You don't have to do a whole lot of, tossing and turning. The only disadvantage is that you do have to start decently high up here. You could do a much shorter route to this paper mill here right in Edgeley, but you're not going to really make a whole lot of money there. Uh, the theme of this map, unfortunately, is going to come down to funding and industry. And I like to put them somewhere either in the middle where it's, very easily accessible and then you can distribute wherever you want. I will call to attention that starting in the existing or the first orientation when the map loads, there is a lot, and I mean a lot of resources for steel all on this western segment here on this island. We'll get to the island generally in a moment, but you've got let's clear these out. You've got iron ore, you've got coal, more coal, iron ore. There's even some coal over here. I've seen coal mines open up in this area. That's I don't know if that's fixed with the game or how it goes, but right here, I mean, we have 5 industries that would be terrific for getting a steel mill somewhere. The unfortunate thing is that the only 2 steel mills in the game are all the way here on the little bit north of the the east corner here of the map. So it's not the greatest. I don't recommend doing a train line this long to start out. You need a positive cash flow, and you're just not going to get that with your initial investment. A few other pitfalls. Oil is typically good to use. There's not a whole lot of refineries, but you do have to be careful. This loop pool oil wells looks like it's good, and it actually does start out pretty high. But ultimately, this does. I've seen it almost every single time in this level. I've seen this drop off in production pretty significantly. Pebbleborough, I believe, is also pretty bad. Yeah, this not it's never that high. Duckborough, I think this is actually fairly decent. But once again, there's not a whole lot of places to transport it. So the name of this game is just sort of figuring out where the best, where at least the more high producing industries are. Now, don't let this deter you from expanding your transportation empire a little bit later, because obviously industries will produce more, their production will go up and down over the course of the game. That does depend on how much service you are getting. Like if there's lots of trains waiting, it's at 100% satisfaction from multiple different companies, you tend to see production go up, but there is also that little bit of randomness. um, I will say this: the industries that I recommend starting off with very early on in the game, just to hit the ground running with a little bit of cash. There's this Flagborough City Farm. Oh yes, and I will touch on this island in just a moment. This Flagborough City Farm over to one of these two food processing plants is not bad. It's not a huge route, but this does end up being a decent amount of production. There's also this Asheville Chemical Works, which is a little bit of a distance, but taking it to Dinston over here, you are not going to get. Well, actually, this is pretty accurate. I think this does hang around like the low 200s, low to mid 200s for at least the beginning part of the game. So this is a very solid one to kick off with. Just looking very quickly, I mean, chemicals, they're on the lower end of the profitability index here, but the cargo payment rates, but it is a pretty long route and it's pretty easy to build just going over the water there. So I definitely recommend that as a decent place to start off. The last one I will recommend, just going back, is this lumber mill over here, Sunninghattan Forest, over to this Edge Hat paper mill. It's a bit of a distance as well, but not too bad. The other interesting strategy here is you can shuttle a little stuff over here from Swinley, although I do believe that this drops off pretty significantly in production. So that's just about all of the hints I can give with this map, as far as cargo goes, at least. The passenger game, if you're into that, it's going to be very heavily focused in this western island here. Almost all of the top cities are like right in this little area. There are a couple of exceptions, but um, I think Linkworth is actually the biggest at the start, but New Swinneyville is pretty close. Duckhead is pretty big right there. Bellborough is right there. Shuttle Pool is actually not on the island, but as you can see, like this is where clearly most of the people are. The cities that have the biggest opportunity to grow, Linkworth will definitely grow over time. Shuttle Pool, I think, has the potential to expand, but there's just not a whole lot to transport to them, or sorry, not a whole lot to transport around while you're here. So that's a situation where you might want to consider a long train line or even an airport to get them over to a more dense area. I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing buses. It's just going to be not terribly profitable. And if we're talking about return on investment here, first of all, we don't have great buses. The Vulcan VSD, I mean, it's not a huge return on investment. Again, it's also the mid 1920s, so we are going to start seeing fairly soon. We'll have some more powerful locomotives. The Pacific, I believe, comes out in the mid 30s. So there's just not a whole lot. Well, I guess the biggest thing with buses is the number of passengers is not going to be terribly reliable throughout the whole game. I think that's just about everything ad nauseum about this map. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to be very boring and just start out with this chemical line. This is going to be a very easy way to just get a little bit of cash on the table, and we're just going to do a very basic route here. Eventually, if this chemical plant starts to go up in production, this is a very easy situation here on the water to convert it to something like a ro-ro or a something a little bit more advanced as far as a rail network goes. But we're just going to go point to point, terminus stations, and let's let it rip. Yeah, let's have some fun with it. I'm just going to try to save a few blocks here. So let's get it off to a good start. Oh, we didn't do our color, but we'll get back to that in a little bit. I want to get my chemicals popping as early as I can. We're just going to pretty much go straight across with it. Nothing too fancy. Whoops. There we are. And I'm going to sort of anticipate maybe doing something like a ro-ro in the future. So I'm going to leave us a little bit of room here. Can always amend this later. Now, another thing to remember is that this is a liquid. It is either oil or chemicals. And for a very long time, all we have here is the 10-ton wagon. So you can put a surprisingly big number of cars before these trains start to get bogged down. Whoops, we need a little bit more of a loan. We're going to just start out with one line. That should be more than enough. That's 10. We'll go 12. I think 120 tons is certainly within the realm of possibility with this train here. Whoops, I don't know why I did that. I'm going to wait for chemicals and drop them off right here. This fits perfectly well in our 10 block station. And while Burnstone, interesting, where is this at? So that's an oil well over here. Looks like our loop pool is still doing all right for the moment. Speak of the devil, it's actually not doing great. There it is. It just went down as well. While we're waiting for this train to fill up, let's just get our colors going. We've got who's our character here? Marmaduke. What a name, Marmaduke Muddle Shop. What a guy. I'm just gonna send this train on its way so we could start recording a little bit of income. Because why not? I think it should have been mostly full. Yeah. Could have let it sit, but whatever. It does look like this train is struggling to get up to speed a little bit, so I might go back to 10. It is fairly heavy now that I'm thinking about it. Let's see. Total weight, 348 tons. Yeah, I mean, there's not a very direct comparison of like the horsepower to how much weight you could pull in this game. I've tried to look it up. I really haven't found anything particularly helpful, but yeah, all I can say is that was pretty miserably slow, so I am going to take a couple cars off. So that's our cash there. I'm going to remove 2 of these, pop it back, and I'm going to put in another line here. Actually, I don't really need to because we didn't even quite get up to the... we didn't quite get up to a full train load while we were waiting, so we'll see how this train does on its own. If we start seeing there's a bit of a backup on production here, we could definitely pop something else in. Since we already have that long line, I'm going to now jump over to the grain situation here and something I had scoped out before. So again, just to verify, 224 tons of grain. That's really not bad at all. I would just recommend, I know this isn't real, this is a little antithetical to the start of a game here, but I'm just gonna kind of go right over the top here so I don't have to worry about doing too many crazy bridges or anything like that. I'm just gonna go right over where the roads are and call it a day. So we're gonna do 80 feet elevation. I think this should be just fine for us. Definitely will need a bit more cash. Yeah, a little bit there. Guess I could have cut this a little earlier. I think that should definitely be in range. All right, we'll start producing. 7 should be good for the moment. Which do we go to? I don't really think it matters. There is a city here, and I usually like to steer clear of that. Whoops. See, this is what I'm talking about. We should have been able to avoid that a little bit better, but you live and you learn. So I'm going to actually go around to the front side. Of course, I need a little bit more here. We might not be able to fully set this up. I don't recall how much the loan actually goes. A little bit more. Overshot a little bit. We're going to have to course correct a bit. A little pricey, but So, a little bit of a hack, but we'll make it work. Hopefully we can at least get 1 train going here. I think that's all we'll need for the moment. Want to check in, see how much there's actually been accumulating. It's taken a little while. I don't know if the train runs actually will take this long, but we will start and see how we do. I'm just going to let it stop and then go from there. Pretty straightforward. Grab the grain over the stop. Once again, we're seeing it struggle a little bit to get up to speed there. I guess 6 might have been a little bit better, but I really feel like the extra day or the extra 20 tons that we get on this trip is probably worth it. It does get up to 40 eventually, so I'm not too terribly concerned. To see where we're at when this guy comes back. Somebody's sniping us already. That's really unfortunate. We might actually have to throw an extra train line on here or something just to keep the stuff going. I'm not going to go too crazy with it right now. Actually, let's take a quick look and see what our max loan is. So only 27,000. Not a whole lot we could do here. We're going to have to sit and wait for at least a little bit. But we can now start thinking about our next move. We have 2 trains doing industry right now. Check in on Linkworth. So there's actually a bit of backup here. This could be potentially a spot to expand, and I think for the moment we cannot afford an entire new line. So what I'm just going to do is add a couple more blocks here. Let's stop this fella, and we'll move back to here. So remember I said it was not quite that much power. Well, we're just going to throw another locomotive on there. So we're at 100. Let's go to 160. A lot more. That should cover us. Oops, did I? Okay, thank goodness I did not buy an extra train. That would have been tragic. And look at that, we claimed the land speed record. We're just going to expand this out so that our loading and unloading is not going to be delayed. And hopefully this should have a lot more power and get up to speed a lot quicker. Yeah, it's not much faster, but it's, I think, good enough. I'll get the one more block here. Now, was it worth it to get the extra couple of chemicals in there? I think so. I mean, 16 days is pretty quick. 61 blocks is it's not exactly trivial, but this should keep our cycle of when the chemicals are ready to go a little bit quicker. Like, could we have hit 100 right here? I'm sure. This is going to ebb and flow a little bit, but I think overall, as we keep a high rating at this station, we're going to get more and more of the product and continue to do better there. Not a whole lot to do here. I'm going to throw this on fast forward, and we can think through some other options. Checking out the Swinley. Yeah, it's just not very profitable, or not very high production. Sunninghattan Forest, still 300 tons of lumber there. Yeah, some of it's getting transported, but this is not a bad spot at all to consider a line. Looks like there's a couple. Oh, didn't even see this other coal mine here. I think we were just talking about this grave pool before. These are actually not horrible. I guess this is something you could consider starting out with, but yeah, as I said before, I really do think there are better ones. This little rinky-dink operation, Dinston, is not a bad spot for oil, but it's as you can see, like this guy is doing all right. He's in second place because he's got two trains going. We have 3. No, sorry, we just have 2 trains, I believe. Vehicles, yeah, just these 2 trains. They're doing pretty well though. Still, we're gonna see more delays with this train now that we're sharing the level a little bit. It's going to honestly come down to us having just a little bit of a better rating. So checking out the station, he's at 76%. We're at 87%. We've also been sitting at this station for a while. So as I said, it's going to ebb and flow. I don't think we need to do anything too drastic here. So let's start thinking about additional stuff. Loopwell, 155. Yeah, it's not terrible. I guess this is the 3rd train that this loop pool carts guy's got going. So he's doing his best. But if we look at his trains, I mean, It's just not insanely profitable. There's operating costs for all of these. I just don't think it's a great place to be at this stage in the game. Maximum loan once again is 41,000, and with each track costing 300 here, like I guess we could do something. I just think it's a little too early. We need to find something a bit more in our budget for right now until we could get a little bit higher profitability. I've looked at some of these livestock farms on the water here. 30, that's just not gonna cut it. I believe there's one out here. 78, it's just not fantastic. If we check out the price here, livestock does pay fairly well, but you got to move it quickly. This is the cost to use 100 units as well. So if we're only getting so many per month, like it will pay well, but and this isn't a terribly long distance, so I'm confident we can do the trip in quick enough time. But I just don't know if it's going to be quite enough profit for us. I think there is a grain farm situation somewhere around here we could potentially find. Here's the flour mills. I think this was the farm. Oh, yeah, 25 tons, another classic example. 30 units of livestock, just not good stuff really anywhere here. Take a look at what Ivory is doing. Oh, he's got this whole network here. So this is paying off for him. This is not a terrible strategy. Once again, I do believe that at least one of these coal mines closes down. So just keep that in mind. Bootly Chemical, that's not terrible, but I don't believe there's any factories. Oh, there actually is a factory. So this could be a line that we look at doing at some point in the near future. I believe this would be considered surveying land if they looked at what our dude was doing. Surveying landscape, there you go. Let's see, how long is this guy doing? I know I'm micromanaging this just a little bit, but I think it's decently worth it to make sure our lines are efficient. Looks like someone else is dipping in on our stuff over here. So this is not going to be a great situation for us. This train is probably going to lose a lot of profitability. I will say that is another thing to keep in mind with this level. The industries are extremely competitive, and they will stop at nothing to really get in the way and make it difficult for you to do your thing. I think we're kind of at a point where we have enough funds. We've socked enough away from profit where we could probably do this lumber line. So I'm gonna take a stab at it. So don't believe anyone's actually. Oh, there is a little bit, right? It's this road. We can possibly take care of that, but I think the best thing for us might actually be to funnel into the side of the wall here, or the side of the mountain, and then just stay at sea level. So we're gonna give it a shot. If it sucks, it really sucks, but I think I think we'll be able to find a way. I'm actually gonna start from here because I think it's going to be a little easier once we have this infrastructure done, and we'll kind of see what our budget is like going back over to this area. So with this bridge, we're going to basically do our station here. This might have been a mistake getting a little bit too cute there, trying to save a few bucks, but how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Give it an extra block and the wide turn. And just to double check, suspension bridge, not quite worth it. We're not deep enough. This is going to be quite expensive, but we should be aligned here. 62%. It looks like somebody else. Yeah, these are 2 road stations, so we could definitely outdo them. This is going to be the tricky part, though. All right. Can't get in on this. This is that's very strange. I'm like really unable to grab that section of land here. I have to grab it by the tip. That's extremely annoying. Huh. Operator error maybe, but yeah, I like can't see how I can grab this entire section here, or like this whole section. I just can't get onto the middle point of this this piece of land right here. That's very unfortunate. It's gonna cost us a little bit more to raise this, but all right, so we're in. It's $1,000 a shot, so we're not gonna go any deeper than we need to. This is rough. Not quite there. All right, we struck wood. All right. Now, everything we have is going into this train right here, so it better be worth it. I'll toss one of these, throw an extra train on here. Of course we don't have enough. A load of lumber. Oh, we got to get us a station over here. Almost forgot. Pay down this so we can deal with our load interest. This train here will also stop there. Get rid of route through the waypoint. Let's see, how do we do? 5K, we're going 75 blocks. That's not terrible, and there is plenty of lumber to go around, so this should actually really start to put us in the black. Yeah, we almost can't even keep up, so this is good for us. Ah, there it is. Okay, so this does, I guess this is something, well, sorry, you all know that there's spoilers at this point, but yeah, this coal mine that was being used, I guess over there, or this is Cherryborough. There was another coal mine somewhere around here, but that closed down. Yeah, this Gravepool Heights, it was right there. We missed it when we were on fast forward. But there is a new coal mine under construction, and well, wouldn't you know about that? This is exactly what I remember. It's right here in this alley of like lots of resources for the steel mill. So just something to keep on our minds. So I'm going to not go with the X strategy just yet because I think that's going to be a little expensive. And also tunneling is, I mean, that put a huge dent in us before. But I think we can get 3 trains going with a single station approach here. So we're gonna try our best to do that. We do have to stay on the outside because I was a little too cute with the tracks in here. Try it like this. Gonna need a decent bit of cash. That's a little wide, but who cares? I'm gonna give it just a bit more room. And that should be good. Yeah, that's right by the station, so I just want to see where exactly this train goes so we know for sure which is the shorter route. Actually, no, we don't need to worry about that. We'll make right. This is North America, so we will follow the stuff as best as we can here. We'll do the rest of the blocking at some point. All right, let's get another locomotive going. We'll get this for the route. We could barely afford one. We can afford 6, so that's I will call that a win. Not going to be quite as good. We could always throw another one on there later. Looks like everyone's in on this. Wow, did this just 300 tons a month. So going to be all the more important that we could stay on top of this. We'll just finish out our signals real quick. We probably don't need this many, but it is preparing us nicely if we ever do have a third train. So I do want to get this train an extra thingamajig. He just did the 120. We want him to get the 140. Plop him down right here. All right. So we're on our margins here. And as you can see, the railroads are adding up very quickly. We might not even be first. Oh, we are still in first. We're doing all right. Now, Cherryborough coal mines. Oh, that's these coal mines right here. So this is going to start to go crazy. If it's worth it, we may just get in on that game as well. Run something across nice and easy. We don't have a ton of cash, so we can't be too crazy with our money here. But what I'm looking to do right now is see if I can disrupt any of these lumber operations here. And wouldn't you know it, this poor line over here is going through a straight bit of road. Going to throw down a Pt1 train right here, and they'll never be able to get around this. This is going to wreak havoc. If you haven't seen this in any of the other videos, never use trucks, especially this early. I mean, I just don't get the appeal. This truck is making $32 a month in profit. It's just, I just don't understand the benefit there. So Brown is going to get really screwed, and that stinks because he's actually in last place. All right, I think this is Asheville Lines. Swinley Express. Oh yeah, so they're doing pretty bad as well. I'd love to be able to block up somebody else. This train is going to be our big competition, but if we could disrupt a little bit anywhere is going to be helpful for us. I don't think I could actually do an intersection here. Yeah, it doesn't quite work. I could potentially do something. Yeah, see, the computer is smart. They won't do anything. They won't build any elevated track that can be interfered with. It's only if they're going on ground level. So we might be SOL over there. Yeah, I really don't see any clear opportunities. We'll sock some of this away. Now, where are our trains losing their profitability? These are the two trains you just put down. Somehow this train is still doing great, and there's a lot of people stealing from this. This looks like they have two different lines coming from here. That's kind of nuts. Oh, this has mail now. I guess there's passengers out there. There's no sense in... Oh, I never clicked on mine. This is ours. Oh, yeah, we don't have this problem. Asheville Chemical Works is going up. This is huge. Now is probably the time we want to look into expanding to an extra line here, especially now that there's competition. I didn't really notice that before. I'm just going to start building this here. I'm going to have to do a little bit of editing at some point. And we definitely do not need this to be this long. But I believe it works for the moment. All right, so now that that's done, we can shorten up some of these. Now, there is a bit of, I guess, discussion or thought that should go into, like, how many trains do you really need? I think as long as you have one that's just constantly in the station, that's good enough. And again, because there's going to be so many chemicals here, I mean, like, this is what, to 437, we are already not keeping up. So the more trains, the better here. I could have just made another, like, super long train, but this train, as we're seeing, it's already 2 locomotives, so we might as well just put them independently. I am going to not quite, well, I guess I do have to sell one of these. I don't know if it's easy to just put it somewhere else. Yeah. So we're going to go down to probably 100. That should be good enough. We'll do an X station here. I guess that won't be bad. How many tons are you carrying, my friend? All right, perfect. 100. Terrific. I'll give it a little bit of room in case we ever need to expand, but I doubt that. We're going to do the X here on this line. We have 1 extra block there. That's not the end of the world. This is going to be our forward line, but of course the train's on there, so we're going to have to work backwards. We should be able to get 3 trains comfortably, I'd say. Time to get some more cash on hand. Hopefully we can afford. All right, so we can't exactly afford one right now, but we can fast forward a bit. Again, I'm just paying this down so that my loan interest is a little lower, but basically as soon as we have the funds to grow another train, I mean, you could see we're having a hard time even keeping up here. We might even have to think about getting another station and taking these to another factory altogether. All right, I think we're okay. Let's see if we can. Okay, we can afford. Great success. Right. Route going. So the money is not going to ever really start pouring in, but I think it should be at least reasonably steady income here. Three trains is probably all we're going to be able to do on a route like this, unless we did row, which we've kind of screwed ourselves here. We could maybe do something with a loop out like there, but yeah, we made it very difficult for ourselves with where we actually put the track. It might be worth investing in this now, though. 9:30. Yeah, you know what? It is. So we definitely want to get more trains on here. All right, so we're gonna go row. I'm gonna keep these sort of as is, but I'm gonna instead try to get this to just come right through here. It's gonna be as the stations will be exactly where they are. I might try to make this more of like the part where we join the tracks back up and have them loop around over here. But I think there's a way to make this work nicely. So let's firstly lay a claim to some track over here. That might not even work for us. Yeah, it's gonna be a little tricky. This is gonna be very tricky. So I guess little known thing, if this chemical work starts going crazy, could be worth it to just. No, production's down. So maybe we hold off on this. I guess we got to see what it ends up doing, but pay back a little of that loan. As you can see, we're building a lot here. 70,000 pretty religiously in construction. We're keeping up pretty well. Train income keeps going up. Our profitability is solid. Company value, I think, should be pretty good. Let's see, company value. Well, we took a nosedive there very quickly, but like somebody actually took advantage or overtook us, I should say. What do they have? Oh, they looks like they are in for the killing with the coal mine. Coal mine's over 1,000. This could be a good time for us to get in the game here. We don't have a ton of money to just drop a train line in though, so we gotta pick our battles. Quick look at our train services here. This little train for $8 a month is interrupting so much commerce. So this is well worth it here. Curryborough had a collapse. All right, so I guess yeah. See, things are working out here. Things are working out. And our goal, I believe, is 70%. So we're getting there. Somebody went for the long one. Wow, I see. I'm surprised because this really isn't a lot of grain. It's just well, they're building a second track. Has this changed at all? Still 90 tons. Not ideal. I think there is a forest around here. Yeah, I almost missed this one. 180 tons. Not quite worth it. I don't think these livestock are going to have... Oh, actually, 120 is not terrible. There are some dips. Not great, but how do we do here? 120. This might not be a bad venture for us. I'd like to see... Let me make sure we're not at the... Oh, we are close to the end of the month. I just have to be careful. 41,000. With the cost of locomotive being 12 and $1,000 per livestock, it's 11 units. A livestock is about a ton a piece, I believe, as far as power goes. Get this down a little bit more. So if we had 12, and say maybe, oh, interesting, it's back up and running. I don't see anyone doing the sort of long haul around the side here. This could be a good play for us as well. It depends, again, how high this goes up. 155, it's just not worth it to me. So I think we can make this work. Question is, do we go from here or the other spot? Is down to 81. It is January, it is the winter. That is a normal fluctuation. This is still at 128. I actually like this graph a lot better. Looks like this is continuing to produce more over time. It is a bit of a farther route, but I think we could make that work. Let's give it a shot. You try to stay on the road as much as possible, and that could be good. He says, and then builds a very long station platform, not on the road. Oops. That's a bridge either way. Rip. Ah, wrong way. Hemorrhaging money, like we do best. Of course we hit that. All right, so we're here. That actually wasn't awful. Want to make sure I don't screw this up. I think all of this is fairly level. Yeah. I think we could just go right through here. I think that meets up. Terrific. All right. I don't think we'll need something this long, but just in case, now we've got it. Get a couple more here. Guess we are using that. That'll be for 88 units. Wait for a full load, get back over to there. That just about fits the station. I'm pretty happy with that. We might have to skip here because I think the farm is producing less. Well, it's actually not. I'm very pleased there. So that was pretty sweet. 42 days is not. That's actually going to be tricky for us. Well, we had the full ride back, so not awful. Loopy Wells, 330. Let's see where that goes. This could be a good time to get in this game. Same thing with Cherrywood. So it was 42 days before. Now we're at 17 days, and this is exactly where we want to be. We should have another 80 waiting for us when we come back. If not, should be only a couple days. Still up to 128 there, so we're doing all right. Quick sip of tea. So that's looking pretty good. We're also paying down our loan a lot. I don't think it's quite enough to just do like an absolute like yeeted elevated railroad all the way across here. That's what we're going to be looking to do. This isn't even that crazy. Like when it was 1,000, that was impressive. This is what I'm more interested in. 647 tons. This is now worth getting a bit of a longer route in, and this is where I'd like to have it. I don't know if it's worth doing a row, but we can certainly give it the old college try. I'm actually going to try to put the station here and then loop it around. This will be a little bit of a weird looking one, but bring everything down to, whoops, key level that we can. Yeah, we're going through a lot of cash just moving the land. We don't really have this. I don't necessarily recommend this strategy always, but so I might want to like come back out this way, so I'm gonna at least just start here. And this will be like our outer spot of the track. We'll have to do something creative if we want to really do like the row there, the classic way that we've been doing in some of these other stages. Of course. Hate that. Bam. This is gonna be, I shouldn't be a cheapskate. I should just pound this. All right, so this is actually gonna be a little costly for us. Remains to be seen if this will be worth it, but saving a few bucks by only building one segment here, like that's a little bit more expensive. We're hugging the line. This should pay for itself very quickly once we have trains on it. I'm just gonna not like 416. That's not terrible. And make sure we have the right target there. I'm gonna road this for sure because I think this will keep going up actually. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can make that work. Haribo is going crazy. And we should be able to just shoot across here. Ah, of course. A little bit anemic here on the mouse. I apologize. We'll clean this up later. We don't have a ton of funds right now, so I don't want to mess with it too much. Oh, I actually do have some more funds. 100 should be fine for us for the moment. And of course, there's nothing doing here because I forgot. So we'll find a way to make that work there, but something to the effect of this. Ball should be good. I think that's what we have here as well. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Have a little bit of breathing room there. We'll build those stations out ASAP. I think, yeah, I think we do have to complete the loop before we do anything else. That should be enough room to meet back up. We'll just shoot right back across. And we're out of money, so we're just going to have to kind of sit and wait here until we have the funds. Oh, look at that. I didn't even mean for it to be that good. This is going to be hilarious. It's going to be, as soon as we get money, just spend it on these train tracks. Fast forward, payment comes in, spend the money. This is not really how I like to play the game, living on the margins, but we are trying to do a speed run. That should be enough to get the signal blocks there, so I think we should be all right. We actually made some money last year, finally getting a bit of return on our investment. Getting beat up all over the damn place. All right, so we have our loop. Train should be able to go around. Now we need to start getting some trains on this loop here. And again, we will fix all these signal blocks eventually. Right now, we just need to be able to have trains that will go. We will add plenty of correct blocks eventually. Oops, I don't want that. We're going this way. If this stops, I'm just going to be very sad. All right, good job. You went right through it. Terrific, terrific. Let's see if we have a little bit more loan to play with. We do. That's 6. I'd like to get a few more. Oh, perfect. That's another 10. Has this train made no money? Okay, thank God. I realized I did not have the right route there. We have to fix this route as well. That over there. And now would be the time to start getting I'm picking 12 blocks for the stations here just because I really feel like This game will go into like the 1930s, and we will need the Pacific, and that will be capable of handling a lot more. The Baldwin is 850 horsepower. The Pacific is like over 1500. It might actually be closer to 1800. So we could definitely carry a lot more cars. I don't want the trains to be too long because at some point the infrastructure just becomes a little bit of a bear to manage. And we're going to be using the technique of having just one single branching point. So I don't know how this is going to go. We're gonna try our best here, but we might have it might be a little bit of a learning exercise. I think 3 tracks should be fine for our use case here. We're going to try an interesting structure then. Haven't seen a train in a while. Okay, nobody's gotten stuck yet. That's a good thing. Carry rows up and down. Yeah, I'm glad we stayed away from that, at least for the moment. So once again, our game plan here is that we're having blocks as early or signals as early as we can. All we want is to, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and finish up the blocking here. The name of the game is that we want our trains to be able to go into the station, occupy this block, and then have the next track open. Number of platforms obviously makes that a little bit easier. Oh, we're rolling in money. How about that? So I think we've sort of reached a point where we're seeing trains start to really pay for themselves. Oh, these lumber trains are kind of going crazy. Wonder what happened here. Did this go up? Did I miss it? Well, not entirely sure, but somehow that's our most profitable train. Could have just been a little bit of a fortunate thing. Oh, he's using the produced paper. That's actually pretty impressive. Not bad, not bad. All right, so we're at a point where we could definitely justify some additional trains. So let's make sure that all of our blocks look good. All right, we have to finish making the blocks. About 1 train length is usually what you should go for. It's a little bit overkill, I think, if you have a sparse system, but I think this system is going to end up being fairly dense. So I'm not terribly concerned about it. We'll need something at the ends here, and we want something at the beginnings here. And probably 1 more block there. This one does not need to exist. We can maybe spread this out a little bit. All right, let's do another. Well, let's actually make sure it's just... Oh, it's definitely justified. All right, we got this just for the routes. And I think we're going to need to just justify the 3rd track altogether. So as we've discussed before, all I'm doing here, the magic sauce, is I am doing simply one single intersection point for all of the tracks. Good. Now this is not good, and basically I can fix this. I just need to make this come out a little bit more. I don't want to do it just yet because I want to make sure we have enough traffic here and we have some profitable lines before I go too crazy. This is also same thing. This is actually a little bit lazy. Again, I wish I did a little bit better. We can fix it. All right, we can get a handful more trains. I'm going to do that before too many come through. That's actually all we can afford for right now, so I'm just going to let the chips sort of fall where they may. We got a lot of throughput here. I think we should start seeing a dent put in this amount of oil. 713, that is pumping. And we don't have our trains reaching a density yet where, wow, the money is pouring in. This is actually freaking sweet. I actually don't want to do too much that's going to lower us down here. So we're plugging right along. I'm feeling pretty good about this. So we're gonna go ahead and drop our HQ right around here. I think I might have to pay for that. Let's do it right there. Yeah, I'm gonna try to fix this. Give these trains a little bit of breathing room. And the reason here is we basically want the trains to sort of like speed up and gain their momentum without having to like wait at these signal blocks. The whole point is we just want another train to be able to use the tracks. So I'm going to just extend these lines out a little bit. If I were making like a conjoining railroad like somewhere else, this could be, you know, another strategy we employ. So I'm going to not deal with the stuff conjoining onto or converging onto one railway like that. I guess like, I want to see where this will take us. Right into the wall, apparently. Man, can't catch a break here. Oh, geez. Why we don't use the macro for that. All right. Overshot that a little bit. That's no problem. That also overshot. Also no problem. We still have our one single intersection point, and that's fine. Now this is going to be a little tricky to execute. I might have to do this at a time when there's... Well, actually, don't know why it preferred that just now, but... I guess anything can happen. These trains should have no interest in going. This should be the last one, and then we will get rid of this altogether. Now there's no possible way to go. We could just close that off all the way. That one, oops. Ferry Burrows back up. I don't know, I cannot click. Remove, there we are, all right. Like, this graph is just, I don't know. I'm staying away from that. I need something more consistent. I think all the industries we're in right now are great. Let's take a look, make sure we don't have anything going too crazy. Linkworth. Oh, this is our chemicals train. Might have to consider dumping these off somewhere else. Not terribly worried right now. Hoopfields, we probably need more trains. That is the answer. So I think we have a full train length here, so that should be pretty awesome. We'll want to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to try to just extend the line a little bit. Already built. No kidding. We're going to cheat a little bit. Just want to make sure these are all the same height. All 16. Very good. All right, that's good. That's fine. I'm not terribly concerned about that. all of these lines are going to meet up essentially here. In fact, what we could even do to sweeten this, if we want, I mean, this is certainly don't need to be doing this, but it is 1930. A lot of stuff got invented. That's pretty sweet. I think we're going to get bit by this. Let that train get off. Good. Rid of these. We can see. A little close. I believe this will work. If it doesn't, I'm going to be quite silly, but I believe this works. See where it prefers to go. Of course, it's going to go that way. All right, you can go through. That's fine. Now, these are not blocked. That's why there's this whole backup here. All right. Looks like we've got what we need here. Now these trains, like this is sort of defeating the purpose because one is going to have to yield to the other, but at least what we should see is, looks like that outer train has a leg up. Who's going to slow down? Outer train, okay. But this train at least got through the block here, so it frees up this signal to allow another train onto this third leg there. So, all good things. All good things. We could definitely justify a few more trains, so I'm going to wait till this part of the loop gets back, because it looks like that's going to be the... Actually, we could probably throw one in right now. All right, it's a little congested, but I think the trains will sort themselves out. And I think that's all I want for right now. We're going to monitor this just to see that there's no backups, but I think our stations have enough capacity. I'm going to throw one more in here. This is a good opportunity. I just need one more. All right, more trains, mo better. Yeah, we're seeing exactly what we want here. The trains are not backing up. They're coming into the stations pretty regularly. We are going to start to see some problems when they break down. I don't know if I'm going to do any breakdown lines here. We'll see if we ever get to that point. Let's see where we have a big backup. Tinville, oh, crates of goods, interesting. Flagborough City has the grain. This is where inexplicably this train is making us money. That's actually not great. 127 days. I don't know if it's going to be very profitable anymore. Our livestock train, I think, is still doing pretty decent. Yeah, $2,000 a month. Nothing wrong with that. We're almost in the black here, folks. This is pretty good. This is, I think, way better than the pace that we had for the last one. But this is probably around the time that it start to consider, or where you should start to consider what trains are making you money or not making you money. This is one of our very first trains, and yeah, it's making us money, so I'm not inclined to just tear down something that's working, but it's really not great. We are seeing something that's interesting, though, which is this city is starting to develop a little bit. Bellborough it's considered a town. It's got a lot of passenger transport moving around. We might be able to get some skin in the game, run maybe a train line over to like this Queensboro Falls or somewhere else where there is a decent amount of population. build it up a little bit more. Bellborough, I'm just expecting, with this steady amount of growth, would be a good candidate to put a line, or a transportation line, of course. Queensboro Falls. Let's see what else is big in this area that's around us. Asheville is over there. Linkworth, no. New Frost Hall is a decent size. I just don't like, that's not very far. Dinberg might be good, but that's still a village. Is it on here? What is it? 455. Oh, I'm blind. It's right here. All right, so you know what? Let's have a little bit of fun with that. We could do a sort of elevated line. I'm probably gonna burn through that cash in just a second, so I don't want to think too quickly there. Go this way. I'll just go right over the roof here. Grab the whole area. Snipe it over the hill here. Ooh, that is really nice. Minimal amount of rejiggering of the land. Harryburrow is down again. Who would have thought? I didn't think that was going to work. That was a little ambitious. Oh, Dinston is up. We're not there, but that could be pretty good. I think we have enough time. We're almost done here, so I'm going to throw down a few of these. Just get a few passengers, drum up the interest, if you will. Don't know what happened there. Operator error, probably. Ah, almost. Like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. That hurts. I think this should be good. Yeah, we're clear now. Can't build through the headquarters. Oh, no. We'll do like this. Well, we burned through all that money. Fortunately, our loan is pretty paid down, so not too concerned. This train should make a decent amount of money. Thirteen passengers there, 13 passengers there. I think we'll be in decent shape. Cover the whole city. Why not? We don't need to go in this direction, but I'm just seeing it might be worth throwing a couple more down here. Expand that catchment area a bit. Pay this down, because why not? We're stagnating a little bit here. It's not great, but we need to keep building. Like at the start, we put in a lot of where's our graph here? Profit from vehicles. Well, I guess this is a pretty good measure. We started getting a lot of higher profit from vehicle, or higher distance times units of cargo. This is almost exactly related to the performance index, but on a less volatile scale. I'm going to go ahead and pay off our loan, and then we don't have to worry about this crap anymore. I shouldn't have picked the Baldwin here. That was not a great choice. The special would be better because it does move a little bit quicker. So we're looking at 15 days, and days do matter for passenger trains. So I'm going to actually throw that away, pop one of these on there, and loop pool is up again. I want to see how long it takes us to do the trip now. 15 days there. 16 days. Let's see on the way back. That might have had to do with me interfering. 17. Interesting. So what we're seeing actually is the acceleration of the Baldwin was better in this case. 16 days. Wow. You know, I really didn't expect that. All right. So we will go back to the Baldwin. Be just ever so slightly quicker. I am also going to shorten it up a little bit. If the train comes to a stop a little bit quicker, that is an opportunity to cut a day off of the travel. And again, the reason we're even interested in this is let's look at passengers. Like we're basically in that like 15 to 16 range there. That's the steepest part of the slope of when you start to lose money. So it might not seem like a lot right now, but over time it'll add up. So Asheville, or rather Linkworth, yeah, this should be a lot here. It's time for us to make this into a row. We have plenty of funds. 9:30. Yeah, this is the time. So we're gonna try to do this as non-invasively as possible, but 1, 2, 3. But this should work right here, and I can at least go through. These we're not using this full station, so this shouldn't bother anybody because there's nobody. As long as this track doesn't make contact with anything, I'll even do this just to be sure. Will be a new station. I don't care that it's. So we're gonna basically just come in right off of this branch, and we'll do some fancy stuff there to split up the tracks. Going to be our outer line, so definitely wide turns are going to be helpful. Again, this is just trying to give us enough room. Make sure we're out wide enough here. See, the tricky thing is I'm not entirely sure just where I want to plop these stations. I guess I could go further in well, in this perspective, this would be like to the northwest. That would involve basically coming around like this way. This is the widest I think I could do. That should be plenty of room though, so we could cut out a little bit of the travel time that way, a little bit of more efficiency. Now we don't want to bust up this whole railway, so I need to be very careful about how exactly we set this up. I might have to do something like this actually. Unstable requires a bridge. Are you kidding me? Oh. Our favorite glitch in this game. All right, so that'll save our bacon for the moment. Oh my goodness. I really wish you could zoom in more. The amount of misclicking is just wild. Is still produce. Oh. Where's the catchment? Well, we have plenty of chemicals there, so I'm not actually that worried about it. All right, so this is gonna be funky. I don't know if I like this. I guess this doesn't necessarily break the rule. We still have our... No, that's just gonna be awful, awful, awful. What the hell is all jammed up here? Oh, the tracks are touching. So I kind of screwed the pooch up pretty bad on this one. All right, well, doing what we can. We can improvise to make sure that the catchment area is right, but I do think we need to, like, get this right here. Oh boy, this is a tricky one. It really shouldn't be that hard. I mean, that actually might be our ticket there. I hate to throw all this. Oh, there's nothing left anyway. Like, no kidding, it hasn't been serviced because, well, we're gonna have to adjust that very soon. I'm like fretting so much about this. Cherry Burrow, you're breaking my heart. All right, so that actually misses. That sucks. We'll figure this out. All right, so working a little bit of magic miracles here. And we're going to do a similar thing to what we did before. We'll have this shoot out here. And then we'll have another parallel track there. It's because these tracks are touching. That's what I did to screw this up. That's why it's been so bad. Once we get this sorted out, I think it'll be easy. That actually is a whole new station, so this is just ridiculous at this point. I'm going to tell this one to skip. I'm going to move, get rid of that so the trains at least stop there and we can finish building in peace, so to speak. We got our 3 tracks there. Oh, no, didn't want to do that. We basically need to erase Linkworth from the map. All right, so effectively right now there's absolutely nothing good happening, meaning we are getting no commerce from any of this. More Cherry Burrow bullshit, if I say so. It's also very difficult to do. Just want to call out it's difficult to do when you got freaking other tracks in your way. It's not exactly the most fun. All right, so we'll make that our sort of like meetup spot, I guess. And we just need to get this way. You know what? These are gonna have to come up off the tracks here. No, stop. And you stop. And you stop. Thought I told you to stop. I'm even confusing myself at this point. I want this to be one way. Now you can get dropped here. And you can go. And these trains, like, they're smart enough. They don't need the whole, like, wait for a full load. That'll happen in time. Go through, young one. No, did I put it the wrong way? Ah, don't quite understand. All right, so this was a little sloppy, but we're getting it. We're getting it. This is a very peculiar route here. Yeah, that's not good. Somehow this train thinks it's gonna go the other way. It must be because I put something down wrong. Oh, this has become miserable. Right, this should... You gotta be kidding. Yeah, that's probably all on me at this point. I'm not entirely sure why they insist on going back. It must be because there's no one-way signal forcing them forward. It's like, I can't think of another reason. Either way, this was not very well executed. It looks like stuff is at least flowing through a little bit. All right. All right, so something is clearly screwed up on that track there. That train could go through. It's just this one train doesn't want to go through. I swear, this is the most confusing thing. Usually it's not like this. Ah, I think that's the reason. These damn two-way signals. It really should not be this painful. Ooh, a steel mill. This could be huge. Ah, it's not, fortunately, not where we need it. We needed it somewhere up around here. It's on the other side of the map. All right. Where were we? Ashley, this spot over here. I really don't understand. It somehow just does not want to go through. Oh, I cannot catch a break. This is very sloppy. These trains are like very clearly making money though. Like they are delivering chemicals. I just don't get the pathological need to go backwards. You need... Oh, maybe that's why. So it really was that train. And just that train, because this one has that route. This has that route. Ah, how painfully sad. I would say that's almost borderline tragic. Oops, I don't want that. Meanwhile, this has gone down so much that I don't even think I could justify all these trains. So we'll see what happens here. I mean, they're pouring in now, so I'm not terribly upset. All right, let's take a look at where things are backing up. Loopy fields. We could definitely do more trains here. Oh, it's going up even more. Let's do it. Let's do it big. We'll try a few with 12. I think this still has 10, yep. This might have, it does not. Also 100. Asheville's back up. We'd like to see that. All right, now we're back to the 12ers. All right, that was actually a very quick and effective upgrade. I think that's going to help us a lot just with efficiency. It is a good time. Well, there's always a good time to look into airplanes. The JU-52 can handle 17 passengers. This is the better aircraft to get. We're at that point where like air travel is not horrible. Obviously, you can really break the bank if you do it the wrong way, but it might not be a bad idea to just get something going. You know, fairly long route, provided of course that you can handle the distance and you're not like losing out on. You don't want to sacrifice travel time for the sake of just having a really long route. This Bellborough is like definitely a great opportunity. This is gonna kind of suck, but that should hit quite a bit. Let's see. Yeah, we got at least these two buildings. We can expand it out a little bit if we need to, and it's different from the train station, which is important. We're gonna see quite a few passengers pooling up there. And I think Linkworth is pretty good. Start getting the city to be a little bit more poppin'. And I would say this is a time where we have fuck you money. We got this airport here. JU-52. Go here to here. And you can start. We'll put another one here, take this route, and start. Let's just see how long it takes. Oh, that's got a lot of passengers. Oh my. How much cash did that make? 177 blocks, 28 days. So we'd be looking at about like $2,400 a month. It's not horrible, but I don't know about if the passengers here are gonna ever keep up. So yeah, we can give it a try. But what we will have to do is this is like a cheat code. I don't know how it's possible that there's this many people all of a sudden here, but we can just start moving these passengers like anywhere else. Like this would be not bad to get another airport just somewhere so we could start offloading them. But the best thing is just going to be a train. It's just going to be so many more passengers at this point. So I'm going to build a nice long train over to here. Hopefully that should get us some fairly decent dollar. And that's part of the airport. Excellent. right through. We like to see that. Oh yeah, this is going to be nice. We might even be able to put 2 on here. The special, I think, over that distance is going to be more effective at 45 miles an hour, so I'm going to go with that. Cherry Burrow still breaking my heart. 500 tons. We do have to go to the outside just because, or I say outside as if that has any meaning on anything. Shouldn't be able to build track faster than how fast your train can go, but yes, them's the brakes. Put up a few blocks here. I don't think we're ever going to have like that many trains doing this shuttling, but make it a little bit denser as we approach the station to prevent any sort of backup. Loopy's still going up. We really need to just get a train that's going to do a little bit more for us, like the Pacific. This is somehow to... Oh, well, you know what? Overall, this is probably not good because he's just taken 65 days. It's still... It's not nothing, but... 100 passengers. Yeah, not concerned. I think that's... We're not eating into the air travel quite as much. Let's see, 3 airplanes. I mean, it's easy money. It's not like it's that much. Like our train... We have trains that are doing way more. This one is, that's this train right here. This is our moneymaker. It's getting up above, well, this is probably, this is the answer right here. 50 plus passengers per clip. We don't even care about what's coming out of Dinberg. This is about the time where it's interesting to look into an additional industry, especially with Asheville kind of going crazy, like, holy shit. We can't really put a whole lot more on this loop, but what we can do is put a factory somewhere that we could, I don't know, maybe deliver some goods to a big city. Looks like Bellborough might be that big city. It accepts goods. How sweet is that? Well, we could just put a factory somewhere, sort of equidistant, and have 2 train lines just coming in and out, and I think that'll be really awesome. So we're going to do a separate row here. It's going to look really weird, but it'll work. It'll be great. Trust me. I don't know quite how far that is. I don't think it has to be perfectly equidistant, but we do need a little bit of land. So we're going Bellborough on the one side here, Asheville on the other side here. I'd say like right around here is probably a good spot. So whenever placing an industry, I will say an interesting thing to keep in mind is look at what's going to be more valuable. So goods are up here, chemicals are down here. So we don't really care about the distance that chemicals cover. The goods are going to way overtake that. The tricky thing is that a goods wagon, where even are those? Oh, we have boxcars. Terrific. So never mind. I was just going to say, if you don't have a lot of carrying capacity, like I think goods wagons only do 12 tons. It's still a little bit better than the tanker, but the boxcar makes it a lot more palatable to want to take the goods a longer distance. So we're going to put the factory a little bit closer over here. We could extend it out here potentially, just to get a little bit more distance altogether. But, it doesn't really matter. I'm making too big of a deal about this. let's first just make sure we can afford it. Ooh, it's gonna basically be all of our money. That's all right. We're gonna make it right back. All right. So I'm gonna basically do it like somewhere right here. So let's get the land going. How high is that? We want to be at least at 16 because that's where all our track is going to be. Nope. We're going to fund an industry, and it is a factory, and the factory is going to be right there. We get a newspaper article very soon. That was a bit far north. That might have been a bit of a mistake. Oops. Oh well. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. So this is going to be a little awkward. It's all right. We'll do it on this side. It'll be fine. Oh, is that spot on? There's no way. Oh, wow. That is terrific. This is going to be very clean. I don't know if I've ever done something this clean before. This could be a record of sorts. Loopy is still going nuts. I just want to like branch it off from there. Just have like a decent starting point. So it wasn't a perfect loop, but when is this game ever perfect in that regard? We don't want to be right up on the end here. I don't exactly care if I'm right up against the edge on this because I have plenty of room for them to merge back in down here. Now, because I am going straight on, what I should have done is, well, let's get a train going and we can talk more as we go. How does that happen? How does that happen? Unbelievable. Or like tell me where the track is, please. I need to like really bring it like right here. Unbelievable. You know, we're going to try something really dumb here, just because. We're not even going to do a rail network. We have so much room, and we have this, like, basically so perfect. There's no reason for us to do anything crazy with stations like we had been doing. So, I'm going to shave that off for symmetry purposes. All right, we've got 11. That'll be good enough. Now I should be filling up this area before I start doing another train or another loop, I guess, but I didn't know what I didn't know what I wanted to do prior to getting this. This is gonna be so dumb, but here we are. I really should be doing signals on both spots here, but oh well. I hate it when they're not symmetrical. Now, I will contest, I don't know if this is actually going to be more efficient than doing it the other way. Maybe we could get four trains on here, and then 4 on the other loop, which would be kind of sweet. Let's see how things play out on this sort of layout here. Well, actually, we are approaching 2 hours here. I think I might cut it and save this as another clip, so I'm just going to save this game real quick. Yeah, see this Keystone Keys, this was part of the other one. You can see 1944, that was 10 years later, and almost at winning, but oh well. We'll call this Keystone Keys 2. All right, folks, we'll be back in the next one.